Hi, my name is Corporal Lisa Croteau, and I want to thank you all for coming and for calling in. We have several media on our conference call line who will be listening and participating via speakerphone. Today, Nova Scotia RCMP's Commanding Officer, Assistant Commissioner Lee Bergerman, will speak about the incidents last night and today. She will be followed by Nova Scotia RCMP's Criminal Operation Officer, Chief Superintendent Chris Leather, who is the Criminal Operation Officer of Nova Scotia RCMP. He will speak about a response to the incident. We will take questions following their comments. Bonjour, je m'appelle Corporal Lisa Croteau et je veux vous remercier pour venir et appeler la ligne téléphonique. Il y a plusieurs médias sur notre ligne téléconférence qui vont écouter et participer. Aujourd'hui, la GRC de la Nouvelle-Écosse, l'officier commandant, le commissaire adjoint Lee Bergerman, va parler des événements d'hier soir et aujourd'hui. Elle va être suivie du officier responsable des opérations criminelles de la GRC en Nouvelle-Écosse, Chris Leatherman, qui va parler des réponses aux événements. On va prendre des questions après leurs commentaires.
Good evening. Today is a devastating day for Nova Scotia, and it will remain etched in the minds of many for years to come. What has unfolded overnight and into this morning is incomprehensible, and many families are experiencing the loss of a loved one. That includes our own RCMP family. It's with tremendous sadness that I share with you that we have lost Constable Heidi Stevenson, a 23-year veteran of the force who was killed this morning while responding to an active shooter incident. Heidi answered the call of duty and lost her life while protecting those she served. Earlier this afternoon, I met with Heidi's family, and there are no words to describe their pain. 2 children have lost their mother, and a husband has lost his wife. Parents have lost their daughter, and countless others lost an incredible friend and colleague. Heidi's family is a part of the RCMP family, and we will embrace and support them in the days and weeks and months ahead. Unfortunately, I have to also share that another one of our officers was injured and is in the hospital receiving treatment of a non-life-threatening injuries. He and his family will be supported, and we will be alongside him as he begins his road to recovery. This tragic incident has also resulted in many victims outside of the RCMP. Countless families are in mourning today. Each person who lost their family and friend, and they too will need their support. The impact of this incident will extend from one end of the province to the other. As Nova Scotians, we have to do what we're known for and come together in times of need and support each other. So right now, I'd like to turn it over to Criminal Operations Officer, Chief Superintendent Chris Leather, who can speak more about the criminal investigation. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Chief Superintendent Chris Leather. I am the Criminal Operations Officer for Nova Scotia RCMP. I would like to offer my sincere condolences to the family of Constable Stevenson and to the families of all the victims. I would also like to acknowledge the member who was injured and his family. As you can appreciate, this is an extremely difficult day for the RCMP and for the families who have been affected by these tragedies. We are in the early stages of an incredibly detailed and complex investigation that has forever changed countless lives and has left multiple victims. Our focus right now is to gather all evidence and information about these incidents and to get answers to many unanswered questions. I will provide here as much detail as I can, as this is indeed still a very early stages investigation into a very tragic situation. Last night, following multiple 911 calls, Nova Scotia RCMP members responded to a firearms call to a Portapique residence in Colchester County. When police arrived at the scene, members located several casualties inside and outside of the home. They did not, however, locate the suspect. This was a very quickly evolving situation and a chaotic scene. Many units responded, including emergency response teams and police dog services. We also received support from other police services, continue to receive support from other police services, especially Halifax Regional Police. Our focus was the safety of the residents in the immediate area. We secured the area and began a search for the suspect. The initial search for the suspect led to multiple sites in the area, including structures that were on fire. The search continued overnight and into the morning. This morning, we actively sought out the suspect through multiple communities throughout Nova Scotia. The search for the suspect ended this morning when the suspect was located, and I can confirm that he is deceased. I can also confirm that the matter has now been referred to CERT. Again, this is still an early and very active investigation that involves multiple crime scenes and victims. We will have further updates as more information becomes available, and we will let you know when that will be. There is an active investigation, as I already noted, being conducted by the Serious Incident and Response Team, that's CERT. So we're not able to provide any further details to some portions of the investigation. I want to thank the dedication and resilience of our members who worked tirelessly to locate the suspect. The coordination demonstrated by everyone involved is truly remarkable. We have reached out to all of our employees to ensure that they have wellness resources available to them during this difficult time. Thank you very much. Commanding Officer Lee Bergman and I will now take any questions that you have. Sure.
Just for the French audience, I'll read the statements in French at this time, then we'll take questions. Bonsoir. C'est un jour dévastateur pour la Nouvelle-Écosse qui restera gravé dans nos pensées pendant bien des années à venir. Les événements qui seront déroulés au cours de la nuit et ce matin sont incompréhensibles. De nombreuses familles ont perdu des êtres chers. Cela comprend aussi notre famille de la GRC. C'est avec le cœur très lourd que je dois vous annoncer le décès de la gendarmerie Heidi Stevenson, une membre avec 23 ans d'expérience avec la GRC, qui a perdu la vie ce matin alors qu'elle répondait à un appel de tireur actif. Heidi a répondu à l'appel de devoir et elle a perdu la vie en protégeant la collectivité qu'elle servait. Plus tôt cet après-midi, j'ai rencontré les membres de la famille d'Heidi et il n'y a aucun mot pour décrire la douleur qu'ils ressentent. 2 enfants ont perdu leur mère et un mari a perdu sa femme. Des parents ont perdu leur fille et de nombreuses autres personnes ont perdu une amie et collègue incroyable. La famille de Heidi fait partie de la famille de la GRC et nous continuerons à les embrasser et les soutenir au cours des jours, des semaines et des mois à venir. Malheureusement, je dois également vous informer qu'un autre membre de la GRC a été blessé et reçoit des traitements à l'hôpital, mais on ne craint pas pour sa vie. Lui et sa famille recevront du soutien et nous serons à ses côtés pendant qu'il entame sa guérison. Cet incident tragique a également fait de nombreuses victimes en dehors de la GRC. De nombreuses familles sont, eux, en deuil aujourd'hui. Chaque personne qui a perdu sa vie avait une famille et des amis qui auront également besoin de soutien. L'impact de l'incident se fera sentir d'un bout à l'autre de la province. Autant que néo-écossais, nous devons vous appuyer les uns les autres. Et maintenant, je vais faire le commentaire de le superintendant Chris Leather. Je voudrais offrir mes sincères condoléances à la famille de Constable Stevenson et à les familles de toutes les victimes. Je voudrais aussi vous faire savoir qu'un membre aussi a été blessé et sa famille, qu'ils sont dans nos pensées. Pour apprécier que c'est une extrême journée difficile pour la GRC et pour la famille qui a été affectée par les tragédies. On est dans les débuts des stages d'une enquête très détaillée qui va changer la vie de plusieurs personnes, plusieurs victimes. Notre focus en ce moment, c'est d'avoir l'information des incidents qui ont arrivé et d'avoir des réponses pour des questions qu'on ne connaît pas. Je vais donner des informations le plus que je peux à ce stage. J'espère que vous appréciez que c'est dans le début de l'enquête et que c'est une situation très tragique. Hier soir, après plusieurs appels 911, la GRC de Nouvelle-Écosse a répondu à un appel d'un homme armé à une maison à Portapique dans le comté de Colchester. Quand les polices sont arrivés sur la scène, les membres ont trouvé plusieurs personnes décédées en dedans et en dehors de la maison. Cependant, on n'a pas trouvé le suspect. C'était une situation qui a bougé très rapidement et c'était une scène chaotique. Plusieurs membres de la GRC, les membres de la Emergency Response Team et notre service de chien de police sont aussi offert leur support, aussi que les autres polices de service de la police de Halifax aussi. Notre focus c'était pour la sécurité des résidents de la région immédiate. Nous avons sécurisé la région. On a commencé pour essayer de trouver le suspect. La recherche initiale pour le suspect a mis plusieurs sites dans la région. Il y avait plusieurs structures qui étaient en feu. La recherche a continué durant la nuit et dans le matin. Ce matin, nous avons essayé de trouver le suspect dans plusieurs communautés. La recherche pour le suspect a fini ce matin quand le suspect s'est trouvé et on l'a arrêté, il était décédé. Encore, c'est le début d'une enquête qui est très active et il y a plusieurs signes et plusieurs victimes. On aura l'information pour vous autres plus tard et on vous laissera savoir c'est quand qu'on va avoir cette information. C'est une enquête active qui va être aussi conduite par le Serious Incident Response Team. Alors, on ne peut pas dire plus de détails dans l'enquête. Je veux remercier la dédication des membres qui ont travaillé pour trouver le suspect. La coordination démontrée par tout le monde était très remarquable. Nous avons parler avec nos membres pour être sûr qu'il a les ressources dans cette difficulté, de cette journée de difficulté. Merci. We'll take questions following this, and please provide your name and agency for the benefit of all participants. On va prendre des questions maintenant. S'il vous plaît, disez votre nom et votre agent et pour le bénéfice de tout le monde.
I can tell you that in excess of 10 people have been killed, but the investigation is still ongoing, and I expect to have more details in that regard in the coming days.
Thank you very much. Can you please explain what you mean by in excess of?
I'm afraid at this time I can't expand on that any further.
Do you mean that we don't know what they've done?
Correct. We don't have a complete, we're not fully aware of what that total may be because as we're standing here, the investigation continues into areas that we've not yet explored across the province.
Are there locations, Inspector, besides Portapique where people have died, besides the shooter?
Yes, there are several locations across the province where persons have been killed.
Can you tell us the other locations,
No.
the names of the towns?
I don't have those locations at my disposal. Suffice to say, there were several locations. I don't have that information currently.
How should we describe that the suspect allegedly commit crimes in Portapique and then continue in the car and commit other crimes, the same person?
Yes, we believe it to be one person who's responsible for all the killings, and that he alone moved across the northern part of the province and committed, would appear, several homicides.
Inspector, was the suspect known to police?
No, he was not.
You mentioned the serious incident response team. Can you explain their involvement? As I understand it, they're called in whenever there's a discharge of a police officer's firearm, is that right?
Anytime there is death or injury that occurs, member of the public in this case, as I noted in my speaking points, the threat was ended, and the lone suspect has that part of the investigation has now been turned over to CERT for investigation because our officers were involved in terminating the threat.
I'm sorry, they were or they were not?
They were. An RCMP officer was.
So in plain language, he was shot by a police officer.
I can't speak to the details of what exactly occurred there, but
very unclear and hard to hear and understand. How many have been deceased in the...
no, sir, I think we're still...
Just one sec. We'll get calls from the teleconference in just one moment.
Sorry, sir.
One last question, if I may. Was there gunfire exchange between officers and the suspect in shooting activity?
I can't tell you exactly what location because I'm not sure, but at one point during the course of the evening, there was an exchange of gunfire. Too early in the investigation, and we simply don't know at this time. Those are, of course, the very issues that will be under close investigation in the coming days, but I'm afraid I don't know at this time.
Inspector, the Premier of this province has described today as a double tragedy because we're all going through a pandemic. Can you speak to whether there's any relationship between COVID and what's happening here today? It's very different worlds, very different incidents.
Again, it's very early, and that certainly is an aspect that we will look at, we'll examine, but we've not yet determined whether there's any link to the COVID-19 crisis.
What is it correct to say this person was armed with a gun or some kind of firearm?
Yes, at one point during the course of the evening, he was armed.
And is this the method he used to kill people, or were there other methods?
I'm not at liberty to discuss that other than to say that he did use his firearm during the course of the evening. It's quite possible he used other methods. I simply don't know at this early stage.
One last question from me.
Yes.
As the investigation continues, have you cleared the properties that were burned? And were there victim sounds in the property?
Carolyn Ray from CDC.
The clearing of properties, the investigation into other locations is ongoing. Suffice to say that those activities have only just begun.
So this is where there's some difficulty when you say in excess of 10, there quite possibly could be more victims within these properties.
That's correct, sir.
Is it correct that this man's, some of his wife or children or any of his relatives were amongst the initial casualties?
Sorry, I'm not at liberty to answer that at this stage.
And when you said that during casualties, did you mean they were found, people found in that residence were dead as opposed to injured?
Both dead and injured, that's correct.
Are they all dead now?
No, they're not.
Okay. So they were dead and injured?
Yes.
I was just wondering how many victims are injured that haven't died, if you can speak to that at all?
That we know of, 2 for sure, perhaps 3, because it's quite possible that victims check themselves into area hospitals, and the investigation has not quite yet caught up with that.
Anyone? Okay. We'll take questions from the teleconference now, if someone has a question. Yes, if you have a question for the teleconference. Okay, you're going to have to, can you speak a little bit louder?
Sure. It's Portapique with ETV News. I'm wondering if you can discuss earlier today there was some information that the suspect had both what appears to be a police uniform and a police car. Can you discuss that?
Yes, I can confirm that at one point during the course of the evening hours, he appears to have been wearing, if not all, then a portion of a police uniform, and that we believe that he was driving at one point a mock-up or a vehicle that was made to look like an RCMP police cruiser.
Does that speak to some planning from a police perspective or any kind of data that all you can offer for these things?
If it speaks to pre-planning on his...
Of course, that's an important element of the investigation. The fact that this individual had a uniform and a police car at his disposal certainly speaks to it not being a random act.
Do we have another question from the... Go ahead.
If you're just taking open questions from the teleconference, I'll jump in here if I may. Mark Douglas with City News. Regarding the victims, can you tell us, do they belong to a specific demographic, religion, or ethnicity? Are they women or men? Could this have been a hate crime motivation?
Too early to tell in terms of what the motivation was, as I said earlier. What I would say is it appears to be, at least in part, very random in nature.
Did the suspect have a history of violence or extreme political opinions of any kind?
Not that I'm aware of.
Would be known to police in any way?
Again, it's early, and I'm not aware of that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Could you speak to any type of relationship between the victims and the suspect at this time?
I'm sorry, due to privacy reasons, I'm not able to discuss the relationship with the victims, other than to say there were some that appeared not to have a relationship with the assailant, the shooter.
I apologize if you've already answered this. It's difficult to hear on the phone, but is there some information you could release about Constable Stevenson's death, where it took place and what transpired?
I did not hear.
What transpired with Constable Stevenson's death, if we provide any information on it?
I'm not at liberty to discuss the specifics of the death of Constable Stevenson at this time.
Are you able to tell us the locations and number of people that were deceased at any site?
Outside of the one village that I mentioned earlier in my talking points, I can tell you that they were scattered across the province, and I don't have a list here to give you the specific locations or times, because that's very much under investigation. That sort of information will be coming hopefully in the coming days when we have a better idea of where the victims were taken and some timing around that. We simply do not have that as of yet. Some of these crime scenes we've not even begun to process. And as I said earlier, it is an ongoing investigation that could reveal additional details in the coming days.
Do you have an idea of how many are deceased the assailant?
Well, I spoke to that earlier, certainly in excess of 10, but we don't have a final count, which is the reason why I'm not able to give specifics to that. It's in excess of 10. It almost certainly will be more than 10. How much more than 10, I do not know.
Okay, at this time,
I apologize for asking, but your audio portion of the conference is almost inaudible at most times.
I apologize for that, and that's going to be the last question that we're going to take at this time.
Can I squeeze one more in?
Mark Douglas, CB News.
What's that?
Ms. Activate, CTV News.
Derek Adams, Transit Transit of Mountain. Can you confirm the suspect was from the Mountain area, that he's originally from the Mountain area?
The only one other thing, it might be appropriate to speak a little bit more about Heidi and her background, as she's the victim here.
We will have plenty of opportunity to do that at a time and location that is more suitable. I just don't think this is the right time for that.
Can you tell us when we might get the next update?
Honestly, that's in conjunction with our media folks. I would expect in the coming day. Thank you very much.
We can promise that we'll meet with the,
Yes, yeah.
Thank you, Inspector.
Thank you.
thank you.
If there's any spelling or anything, I can help for that.
I know, okay. Can you let me know when you're done? Yep, okay.
Lisa.